Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Moy Style podcast. So today's episode is about when should your child take a break from baseball. I know this is a pretty touchy subject, and I know a lot of people may think a little bit different than I do. But I feel like I'm gonna give you my personal opinion, but I'm not saying that this the way it needs to be or it has to be. I'm just giving you my personal opinion as a coach, and as somebody that's been doing this for a while and seeing different age groups, seen different situations where a lot of kids end up quitting. I know the younger ones that I've seen quit are I think 11 or 12, 13, 15, 16. So basically, that range there where the kids tend to just not enjoy the game anymore, and so I just feel like if I give you my opinion, it might kind of open your eyes a little bit and kind of see things a little bit different. I'm not saying that this is the way it needs to be. So, what the first thing that I would do, and I'm trying to do this podcast close to the summertime where a lot of the tournaments about to be over. I know a lot of kids are going to the World Series and everything like that, and especially for the kids that are playing travel ball, that's when those are the ones that tend to play the most. So I know I've been having a lot of conversations lately with for different parents because obviously this is what I do for a living. Baseball is what I do for a living, and I coach a bunch of different age groups. And I've been working with certain kids where they were having a blast. The beginning of the year when they were doing lessons, they were enjoying it, they were making progress. But sometimes when they play a lot of games throughout the season, it kind of takes a toll on them, and it's kind of sometimes it could turn into a job, and obviously that's the last thing you want your child to feel like it is a job or anything like that. So again, I've been doing lessons on some of the players, and I can tell that they're just not in it, they're not focused, and I've had to have several conversations with several different parents because sometimes I know that obviously your parents out there want the best for your child, but I think it's important that you have a conversation with them because you'd be surprised what they tell you. Some kids obviously they're just they just love baseball and they just feel like they can never get enough, and obviously those are the type of players that they can continue training, and sometimes you kind of need to force them to take a little break even if it's just a couple of weeks off. I think that's important. But you also have the kids that have been playing so much that maybe they've gone through a rough season where the coaches might have been a little too intense with them, or maybe you as a parent you tend to be a little bit tougher on your kids, and sometimes could be a little bit could go overboard sometimes. So those are the things that sometimes I think adults don't look at, and kids sometimes look at things a little bit different. And obviously, at the end of the day, they're the ones that are playing, not you. So I think you need to have a conversation and kind of get the feel for where they're at. Sometimes they'll tell you, like they'll be honest and tell you that they need a break. They need a break from baseball, and that's okay. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. It's not like they don't want to play baseball anymore. They just need a break from everything. So that's why I always recommend young kids to play multiple sports, to play football, play basketball, play or wrestle or whatever the sport may be that's going on in your city. Now, you'll have, like kind of like I mentioned earlier, you're gonna have a couple of different players. You're gonna have the ones that play. It seems like they play every single weekend since February or all the way until till now, or maybe July. And then you're also gonna have, because not only they play with their teams, but they also pick up with other teams. And again, they enjoy their game and all that great stuff. But then you also have the ones that it seems like they didn't get to play enough because maybe they didn't have enough players, or they might have something might have happened with the team, and so they couldn't get tournaments in, or they couldn't actually have enough people to play, or the tournaments got rained out, stuff like that. So those are the ones that obviously we're hoping that still want to train, still want to get better, still want to still want to get some more baseball in. But for the ones that have been playing every single weekend, pretty much, I think those are the ones that you for sure got to have a conversation with them, because I know some parents say, well, I don't want my kid to lose, what he's been learning or what he's been working on, which I get that. But again, sometimes you're going to get to a point where they want to be a kid. And I think trying to just give them a little break, let them have fun with their friends and all that good stuff, I think that would be a great time to do that. Even if it's just a week or 2 weeks. I know some parents are like, well, I mean, if my kid takes a break, he's going to lose everything. I don't think a couple of weeks is going to really hurt him. So I think, or let them just go play. Some kids I know they play soccer too. They're going to go into football. So let them play all the sports, or let them go to camps and and have fun that way. But when it comes to like personal training, sometimes it's okay to back off, because again, it's gonna turn into a job, and then you in a few years you're gonna regret it, and then they're gonna say we don't want to play baseball anymore, and that's when it's a little sad, because we like me as a coach, I want to keep as many kids as possible in the game of baseball. Like we want as many kids as possible to play the game, to make it more competitive, to be able to enjoy the game more. Because, I mean, this game is fun. It's tough, but it's fun. And I want to keep players in it. Now, with the guys that haven't been able to play as much, I'm hoping that those are the kids that are like, man, like they're like almost crying because the season is over and they want to get better. They want to continue to play more. So those are the ones that I would say for sure, continue to do. Again, you can take a break, but continue to do more of maybe individual lessons, or just let them train on their own, and try to focus on one thing. That especially the younger they are, don't try to load them up with so much, like so many different lessons, like hitting, fielding, pitching, outfield, speed and agility, all kinds of stuff like that. Like don't load them up with so much. Just try to focus on one thing. Let's say they weren't able to get enough, and I'm gonna speak as an infield coach, and for the guys that are infielders. Let's say they didn't get enough playing time, or they just didn't have a good year. So then just focus on fielding. Go to camps, or go to a private instructor, or maybe just work with him or her out there in the backyard, and just hit him with ground balls and work on the fundamental stuff. But again, you don't have to load them up with a bunch of different lessons. Every kid's different though. You gotta obviously keep that in mind too. Some kids can take a lot. Some just feel like a couple of days out of the week it might be too much for them. So obviously everybody's a little bit different. But you also have fall season, and a lot of kids play fall season. A lot of kids don't play fall at all. They just wait until the spring, and that's okay too. But if they're gonna play fall season, for those kids that didn't get to play as much, then I would say, go ahead and continue to train and continue to prepare for the tryouts if you're gonna try out for a new team. Or continue to work on the skills that you need to work on, even if it's just one specific. I'm not saying forget about everything else, but try to focus on one thing so they can actually make huge progress on a certain skill that they're trying to work on. I don't care if it's pitching, I don't care if it's outfield, infield, hitting, or whatever the case may be, getting stronger. But try to focus on one thing and really let them get real good at that, because you want them to see some type of progress instead of just everything being average all across. Going back to the guys that have been playing a lot, I've been playing every single weekend pretty much. Then those are the ones that, let's say they want to play in the fall. I'm assuming they're going to want to play in the fall too. Those are the ones that, again, just let them take some time off. And then as it gets close to the fall season, then let them pick back up again and start getting ready for fall season. I know fall seasons are normally a little bit not a little bit lighter than a lot lighter than the spring season. But that's what I would normally recommend for those two types of players. But I know some parents want to find something to do for your kids, and that's okay too. But at the end of the day, you want them to have some kind of fun. I'm not saying just let them be lazy and do nothing at home and throughout the whole summer, but you can find something for them to do. But at the same time, you want them to try to acquire a new skill, or try to, like I said before, try to just almost master that skill to the point where they're like real good at it, and then you can move on to the next thing instead of just loading them up with either a bunch of different lessons or going to games over and over and over and over and not making any type of progress. So again, I'm talking about this because I'm seeing this more and more, especially in the summer times when the kids are a little bit burnt out. And I hate when I hear a kid, I hear a parent, he doesn't want to play baseball anymore, or she doesn't want to play anymore. So that's kind of, to me, is a little bit frustrating because sometimes the parents don't want to be realistic, and they don't want to take the blame for it because, some parents, they may let their ego get the best of them and they don't think it's their fault. It's never been their fault. But sometimes, again, the kids just might have felt like this thing turned to a job, or maybe they just had a bad experience with coaches and like the way they treated them, the way they were coached, bunch of different reasons. So you want to be able to keep them to where they still want to earn a spot in high school, and then hopefully the ones that want to play college, you want them to be able to be hungry and continue to get better. So for the guys that are in high school, especially the ones that are sophomore, juniors, seniors, if you're really trying to specialize in baseball only, which I normally recommend trying to play at least one other sport. But if you're gonna do that, that's when I feel like the summertime. I know summertime they play a lot of showcase tournaments, but it also needs to be planned out to where the kids know that normally the tournaments start Thursdays. They go Thursday, Friday, Saturday, sometimes until Sunday. So they have to know, they should know what to do on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. So whether they want to get stronger, whether they want to increase throwing velocity, or they want to get faster, they want to work on their field and all that type of stuff, I think it needs to be scheduled out. And as they get older and older, in high school, let's say especially if they get to senior year, I know there's some athletes out there that can play multiple sports, which that's great. But for the ones that really want to take it to the college level, especially, I think it's best to kind of cut back to either one sport. Or if you're going to play another sport, try to plan it out, because you'll never be able to make, real progress when, all you're doing is playing and bouncing from one sport to another. So, again, when you're in high school, I think it's very important to plan it out, and you'd be surprised how much of a huge progress you can make, in a short period of time if you're really focused, and obviously plan it out. So. Hopefully, I know there's a lot more things to talk about this, but I wanted to make it short and to the point, where hopefully this can help out parents, coaches, and ultimately players out there, and again be able to keep them in the game. So, if you guys are watching this on YouTube, please subscribe, give it a thumbs up, and remember, keep it Moy Style.
Hey guys, Moy Style Baseball here. If you're interested in having me come out to your city for a fielding camp or a hitting camp, or if you're in the Oklahoma area and you're looking for private lessons or group lessons, you can shoot me a text at 251-509-3815. You can also email me at moystyle33@gmail.com. Keep it Moy Style.